Okay, so we did 9,000 steps in almost 3 miles from the riverfront on the Savannah River all the way to Forsyth Park. Many years ago, the singer-songwriter Billy Joel wrote a song called The New York State of Mind. I've heard quite a few different interpretations of that song, from a contemporary version to a jazz version, but the running theme of that song is no matter where you live, you can make a vacation out of it. And it's not just a New York thing. As a former New Yorker myself, I sometimes kick myself for not taking advantage to explore all of the unique spaces around New York City, from Chinatown to Riverside, as Mr. Joel says in his song.
Hi.
But I now reside in the state of Georgia, and I haven't done much exploring of the cities here outside of my place of where I live, although I do go hiking a lot or off-roading with friends when the time allows. And so, having a few days to myself, I decided to drive 5 hours south from my home north of the city of Atlanta down to the city of Savannah on the coast of Georgia. I've always been mystified by some of the coastal cities that have sprung up during the founding of America: Savannah, Charleston, New Orleans, and all of those other cities, but I've never really taken the opportunity to visit most of them. I did visit New Orleans when I did a road trip from Atlanta all the way to San Francisco in 2024, but I really didn't get the opportunity to explore the way I wanted to. I also did a touch and go stop in Charleston a few years ago, but again, I really didn't get to explore and walk and look at the old homes and buildings, etc. So on this weekend trip to Savannah, I packed up my gym shoes and decided that my walking exploration of the city would start at the waterfront and then continue all the way to one of the major parks in the city, Forsyth Park. Along the way, I would check out a few of Savannah's popular pocket parks, or squares as they're called. What is most fascinating to me is that for a southern city, Savannah is very walkable for the common visitor. Unlike the city of Atlanta, which has a horrible walkability score, you can literally walk for hours on end through historic Savannah, taking in all of the historic buildings, the parks, the squares, sights and scenes to your heart's abandon. I can imagine that during the warmer days that this city would be packed with people enjoying the bars, going about with their lives, etc. There's also a major university here, so there's going to be a lot of students walking around and stuff. But I think I picked the perfect day to roam and explore. I'm sure my walking tour barely scratched the surface of what Savannah has to offer, because everywhere I turned, there were museums, mansions, parks, little streets, cafes, and more to explore. The architecture of the buildings, the churches, the houses, and more would keep the more inquisitive mind awake for a very long time. I know there's more for me to see and explore here in Savannah. I want to visit the markets where locals shop for food. I want to experience some of Savannah's more popular cuisine. There are many forts and historic spaces around that need to be explored and visited. So in this coming year, 2025, that's my goal. I need to spend more time in Savannah and most possibly Charleston. Now, with a full-time job and with those cities being hours away by car, it will be challenging, but that's part of the fun, isn't it? I hope that you enjoyed my collage of pictures from my Savannah trip. And I would be interested to know if you've been a tourist in the city in which you live. Drop me a comment down below. Have you laced up your own shoes and walked the streets of your hometown with the eyes of a visitor? Maybe listen to Billy Joel's New York State of Mind, and it may get you excited to explore where you currently live. So my impulse purchase here in Savannah is chocolates. I shouldn't be eating this stuff, but I got it anyway.